Hello guys, it's 899 here and welcome to this video where today is a little bit different in terms of rugby league videos. Basically, across some of my social medias over the last week or so, I've asked you, the public, for your NRL hot takes or controversial opinions. Basically, opinions where a considerate amount of people would disagree with. And then I'm going to rank them in terms of like spiciness or stuff like that. So basically, this is me reacting to your NRL hot takes. So starting off with YouTube, basically put up as a community post, and this is what I have received. We'll start off with Sam Revels here. I am for forward pass technology to come into the game ASAP. There are many clear forward passes I think the bunker can and should rule on them in try scoring situations from today. I definitely feel like this is going to happen at some point. I mean, as some of you may know, in terms of the FIFA World Cup that's happening this year, there is actually going to be something placed in the ball which actually will help track very close offsides. So, in terms of like hot takes, I know like I've probably put it like somewhere in like the middle because I know like a lot of people, like the older generation, would probably be very much against it. But I do feel like in terms of technological advances, this is something that will eventually pop up. So yeah. Nick from Australia says, the NRL finals to be a top 6 instead of a top 8. Obviously, if it's the comp stated like a 16-team comp, I would very much agree with this. But the fact now we've got like a new team coming in next year with Redcliffe and also even another team on that to being 18, I'd actually prefer it to stay as an 8 because personally, I've never liked that half the teams get in because you saw with like the Knights and the Titans last year, they very much... The Knights had like 50% win record and the Titans had an even worse record, yet they made the finals. So it's kind of just a like, I feel like it should stick with the top 8, but definitely if it stayed at 16, it should be top 6. So I'd probably put it around somewhere around, at like a 4, somewhere around there. I feel like because obviously, with the hindsight of a 17th to 18th team, if there's 18 teams and only 6 get through, I think that's a little bit unfair. Paddy G comes in with, a fit Tommy Turbo is by far the best player in the world and second best doesn't come close. This is a very spicy one. In the discussion on who is the best player in the world at any one time, you can make cases for genuinely several amount of people. Like Tom Trbojevic easily last year was the best player in the NRL. And I do feel like that, yes, when he's healthy, he is very good. But to say that he's second best doesn't come close, that's pretty much more on the higher end of maybe like a 7 in terms of spiciness. But I do feel like on his day, he can be one of the best players in the world. But obviously, unfortunately for this season, it hasn't really happened because of him struggling with injuries. So you will definitely have to feel that out. Pewds Throwaway says, Parramatta Eels deserved the grand final in 2009 where they were robbed. I feel like because of the hindsight of what eventually did get found out about the Melbourne Storm with the whole salary cap, then I think this is very low. So yes, they technically did get robbed. And also so did Manly in 2007 because like... But to say they deserved the grand final, I mean, Parramatta have had a bit of history in terms of these like big games where they get blinded by the spotlight. It happened in 2001, and you can make a case that they got robbed in that one because there is rumours that the Knights players were all on drugs. Well, one of them definitely was. Ecstasy's not a performance enhancing, kids. But it's a very hard argument, but I'd definitely say it would be fairly low because obviously they broke the salary cap, they had the title stripped from them. But as I should say, the title should just not be given to Parramatta. Like the 2007 one should just not be given to Manly. CJ Moxley says, the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks will win a premiership before 2026. That is a very hot claim. Obviously the Sharks very much in the top 4. By the way, as I'm recording this, they just beat Melbourne about, I think it was like 26-6 or 20-6, something along those lines. It's like 10 p.m. on the Thursday. It's hard to say. Obviously, like they've got a very good team. If they can add a few more tweaks, they can definitely challenge for a title. But obviously, with the way other teams are going, like with Brisbane, North Queensland, and even Penrith, it's going to be very hard. So it's probably like the biggest hot take out of all of them, just because of how many teams that the Sharks would have to come off. And the Sharks haven't been entirely too convincing so far, but who's to say that they won't win a title within 4 years? Rugby League history states, the West Tigers are the biggest joke club in the NRL. They have the longest finals drought of the NRL era, but some of their fans think, well, we won it in 2005 is some kind of pass mark. 3 final series in 22 years, not good. I think it's probably around like a 3 or even a 2. Like, I mean, yeah, the Tigers are in absolute shambles at the moment. I feel like there is another team that you could more so as being the biggest joke in the era of the NRL. A team that kind of won 3 spoons in a row, but then again, did also win a premiership in 2001. So, yeah, I feel like... I'm talking about Newcastle if I wasn't being... just to make it clear, but I feel like, yeah, it's kind of like in a tussle between the Knights and the Tigers about who is the worst team in the NRL era, but... yeah, I feel like it's fairly on the low end because, I mean, just like all the drama that's happened recently with the Tigers is just, they are, from like an administrative standpoint, they're an absolute joke, to say the very least. So those are the ones done from YouTube, and now we move over actually to Instagram, actually. And by the way, here is my Instagram. I barely post, so don't really follow it. So here we go. So the NRL Fanatic on Instagram says, Edwards should be a smoky for Dally M fullback of the year. I very much agree with this. Obviously, in terms of other fullbacks currently in the mix, I feel like Edwards definitely is up there for fullback of the year. I'm just trying to think of other ones that probably would be in contention. Ponga definitely wouldn't. Pappenhausen maybe, but then again, he has had time off in regards to injury. Just trying to generally think of other players. I mean, yeah, it really, in all honesty, like, I think he's the only one that really sticks out. There's probably definitely someone, because also you had Turbo who was out for an extended period of time. Latrell Mitchell's only just come back. So I definitely feel like it's around about probably like, I'll probably put it as a 4-ish. I definitely feel like he's probably the front runner at the moment, unless there's someone I'm completely forgetting about. But yeah, I definitely feel that, yeah, Edwards definitely is very much in the running, but I'm just trying to think if there is another player who is on the same level as him. Probably, I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. Not AJ. Yeah, it's pretty much really only him, to think about it. Faraz Alam said, Broncos and Cowboys Grand Final. So this is for this year, the Cowboys-Broncos Grand Final. Very much so, obviously, there is a big contentious thing about to decide that, Penrith. But in terms of the standings, I feel like it could get to potentially a point, this could be like a prelim final and not a grand final. But I feel like because of like how tight it is at the moment, I think this is probably the hottest take we've had, probably about a 9. But I definitely would like to see this happen because I feel like the NRL very much needs Brisbane to go extremely well this year because they're bringing in another technically Brisbane team into the NRL with the Dolphins. Just call them fucking Redcliffe. Don't just keep them as the Dolphins. It's a bit ridiculous. Hold the Ball says, Warriors rebound their season after being in New Zealand, I hope. Well, obviously it's only been 1 game since they've been back in New Zealand, but they have won this, so it's kind of hard. I'll probably have to put it as a not applicable result because we obviously would have to wait for that bit of tape. But I feel like, what is their run? Actually, we'll grade it off their run, actually, of who they play. So their next run of form is they play Parramatta away, Canberra away, Melbourne at home, South Sydney away, Canterbury at home, Cowboys, Penrith, or Titans at home. I feel like they can get, I think they could get about like 3 or 4 wins there, but in terms of like bounce back, they won't get the spoon. I definitely don't think they will. They'll get some little bit of run of form, but I mean, they're taking on a lot of tough teams in their final run. So I do feel like it's actually probably about a 6, I'd probably put it personally. No offense to Warriors fans. Rowan says Ponga is the best player. Fuck off. Yeah, no. There's no. That's just a bit of a piss take. And finally, the last one, it's again CJ Moxie saying Dolphins will make the finals first season in. This is another very hot one. I feel like in terms, because there's a lot of players that the Dolphins haven't really gotten yet. So I feel like they'll get somewhere, like, in probably maybe battling for the finals. I don't think personally they'll make it first year. But in terms of saying the Dolphins make the finals first year, that's got to be like an 8. Like, that's a very saucy take there. So that is it. That is the all me reacting to people's NRL hot takes. What do you guys think? Do you have a hot take that you have that didn't get addressed in this video? Put it in the comments and I might make this another episode. Who knows? Don't trust it, because I'm fucking horrible at making series. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later.